Hey nerds, Bevan here, welcome back to my channel. It's about minus 12 here in Regina, and we're about 3 weeks into the year of our Lord, 2021. And with that in mind, I have barely even talked about 2021 in 2021. So I wanted to talk today about all of the action figures that I want to get this year that are coming out. Obviously, if I talked about every action figure I wanted to get, this would be an 8.5 hour long video, but nobody wants that. So as always, I defer to my little trusty notebook here. We have a page of notes, action figures that I want to talk about. So we're going to start near the bottom where the less expensive figures are, and we'll work our way up to the more higher end stuff that I want to get. So let's start in the action figure aisle at Walmart. You can see over my left shoulder here my WWE action figures. There's only a few that are announced so far that I'm really looking forward to. WWE is kind of weird because like Ringside Collectibles will get stuff way before retail does. So there's things that Walmart will get in 2021 that Ringside got in 2020. So it's kind of hard to measure that out, but I've decided if Ringside has it, it's a 2020 figure. So anything that Ringside has in stock won't make this list. So the 3 WWE figures that are announced so far for 2021 that I want to get are the Legends Series 9 Tatanka in his long pants. Tatanka hasn't had many figures, you know, and I've only owned one of them, which was the Hasbro figure. And to the best of my knowledge, is the first time he's ever come out in the long white pants from his debut. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my cat just knocked a bunch of stuff off the counter, so I got that to look forward to. There's also Ultimates Series 8 Macho Man in his like early 90s babyface gear. Lots of bright colors. This is the Macho Man I grew up with. Well, this one and the WCW NWO Macho Man, but for WWF, this is my guy. And speaking of 90s, WWF with Tatanka, Macho Man, and Ultimate Warrior, Ringside Collectibles is getting an awesome WrestleMania 12 exclusive where he returned back in 1996, defeated Triple H in about 1 minute and 12 seconds, and this figure looks awesome. And then of course, I gotta talk about my favorite toy line right now, and that's DC Multiverse from McFarlane. So there are 2 waves coming out. I didn't count the wave with like Red Sun Superman and the Drowned because those have been trickling out for a few weeks now, so it was a gray area. But basically that whole wave I want, just threw it out there. But the 2 waves that are not out yet that I'm really looking forward to are the Death Metal wave with Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. I want those 3 figures. And then I'll probably also get like the Crow Robin King figure, and then just doing that so I can do the Build-A-Figure of the Dark Father. And then either before or after that wave, I'm not really sure what the timeline is the Last Night on Earth wave. Now I really debated if I wanted this set that badly. They have a really awesome Wonder Woman figure in it. They have a really different looking Batman figure. They have a really cool Scarecrow. And then there's this new character from the series called Omega. And the 4 of them combined to do a huge Build-A-Figure of Bane. And I kind of bounced back and forth. I really liked the storyline, but it's nothing that like I'm in love with. The character designs are cool, but they're not as awesome as the Dark Knights figures from the Metal. But I decided that worst case scenario is I buy them and don't like them that much. And then I can just sell them or trade them off for something else. So not a huge loss if I buy these 4 figures, get an awesome 5th figure out of it, and then see how I feel about it at that point in time. And then they've also announced a Batman Beyond, who I don't have a huge attachment to, but the figure looks really cool. And if I can get it before Arnell, the Nerdbuster, I'd be pretty happy because he loves Batman Beyond. So if I can get it before him like I did with the Red Hood, that's a thumbs up in my books. And those are really the only 2 toy lines that I collect, you know, from a toy store, Toys R Us or Walmart. I'm not into Marvel Legends. Black Series I'm kind of into. I just kind of like pick up the random figure here and there, but there's nothing that I'm aware of that I really need to get that's coming out this year, so I skipped those. So now we get into the little higher end products. I'm going to start with Super 7. I recently saw a picture of the Super 7 Leonardo in hand, posed, looking awesome, and I decided that I just need a random shelf in my collection, basically, like for cartoons. So I decided I want to get the Michelangelo from Super 7. He's my favorite Ninja Turtle of all time. I have the NECA movie version, I have the NECA cartoon version on this Friends and Family shelf right here. That came from Nerdbuster as well. And then I'm gonna have this Super 7 version, which is like a reimagining, inspired by kind of version of the original Playmates figure from 1988. It's the only one I'm gonna get. I didn't really collect this toy line as a kid. I had a few here and there, obviously, because I was a kid in the 90s. I don't have a huge attachment to the toy line by any means, though. So I just want the Michelangelo, because he's my favorite, and I already have a couple versions of him anyway. Now we get into the really expensive stuff. Like, we're talking $100 a figure now. I got some Mafex, some Mezco, and some SH Figuarts. We'll start with Figuarts first, because while there are 4 figures on this list, they all kind of go together, and if you have one, like, you can't just have 2, you can't have 3, you have to have one, your favorite character, or you have to have all 4, because it is the Avengers Assemble line from the original Avengers 2012 movie. You have Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Hulk. And these figures all look amazing. The 2012 Avengers movie was like almost life-defining for me at the time. It's got to be in my top 10 for movies I've seen the most times. I saw it 3 times in theater, and I watch it probably almost every year, I would think, since then. And I'm getting into the Hot Toys game, and these figures just, they seem to be like the best versions from that movie. The Infinity War and Endgame, I'd have to like mix and match those 2 movies to like put together my ideal Avengers team, because like I don't want bearded Captain America from Infinity War, and I don't want fat Thor from Endgame. So just going with this 2012 version, I think I can put together like my nice tight-knit team, put it on display. Just need those 4, unless they come up with Black Widow and Hawkeye, which hasn't been announced yet as far as I know. But having those 4 core Avengers will just like kind of tie in very nicely. Sticking with Marvel, you can see it here over my right shoulder, my SpiderGwen shelf. I have a Marvel Legends figure in there, which that just doesn't cut it for me, because I don't really like the Marvel Legends figures. They're very poor quality in my opinion, which is what you get for a $30 action figure, to be honest. But Mafex is doing an Into the Spider-Verse SpiderGwen, and she comes with Spider-Ham, which she does. So I plan on getting that to put on this shelf. This is going to be my wonderful SpiderGwen shelf with the Kotobukiya from my girlfriend, with the Mafex, some graded comics, maybe a statue, who knows. And then also from Mafex, speaking of my favorite comic book characters, Gwen is my favorite Marvel character, Batman is my favorite DC character. Mafex is doing a ton of Batman stuff right now, but Hush being my favorite design, one of my favorite stories, I'm getting the black version of Batman from Hush. And the last figure on my list for this video is the Mezco 1/12 Collectibles Wonder Woman. Now, I have owned a Mezco Batman before. I have a Mezco Magneto. They're wonderful, amazing figures. They don't put out a ton of characters that I'm interested in, though. They actually do a lot of B characters, like there's Black Bolt, Ghost Rider, Bane. Sorry, not Bane, Blade is what I meant to say. And if you're into those characters, that's not a shot at you. That's not throwing shade at these characters. They are not A-list characters. I myself am very much an A-list character collector because I am into so many different properties. I can only collect the main characters and the characters that I love. So Mezco doing a Wonder Woman is awesome. This figure looks great. And yeah, that's really all I can say about it. So that is my list of figures I want to get this year so far. It's January 19th right now, and I have a list that is probably close to $1,000 worth of value. So I'm hoping that these higher end, well, I mean, like if stuff gets announced by Mayfex, it's probably not coming out until next year anyway, so that's not a huge deal for me right now. But I want to hear from you guys. What on my list kind of piques your interest? Was there anything you didn't really know about that was coming out? Is there anything that, now that you've seen the picture and heard about it, you need to get? And if not, just let me know what's on your list. Like, what are you looking forward to, especially from the higher end companies like Mayfex, SH Figuarts, Mezco, etc. If you like this video, hit that like button, because that helps out the video and the algorithms, or so I hear. I have no idea. Comment below. Just say hello if you want to. If you like the video a lot, you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, folks. I'll see you next time, folks.